Welcome to the Damascus Encounter, a program where we share the different experiences we've had in our Christian journey and, of course, to share with the world the exact point where we met with God and we had that encounter that marked the turnaround on our Christian journey. On the program today, I have with me in the house Pastor Chukuemeka Abaribe. He is a chaplain here at Babcock University, and he will be sharing with us his experience and, of course, his encounter with Jesus Christ. Pastor Chukuemeka Abaribe, you are welcome to today's program.
Thank you very much. The privilege is mine. Thank you so much.
Now, can you let us meet Chukuemeka Abaribe?
Thank you very much. Chukuemeka Abaribe, a chaplain here in Babcock University. I'm married to Chidema and we have 2 boys. He's been in the ministry for, about almost 20 years. Okay. Started 20 years ago, but in Babcock I've been here for the past 5 years.
All right, thank you very much. So, if you don't mind, can we have a little bit of your background, growing up, how your growing up experience was in the church as a Christian?
It's been quite a journey of grace. Born into the family of late now Elder and Mrs. Joshua Abaribe, educationists both of them, and 7 siblings, but we lost 1. And it was quite painful. In fact, they weren't following me directly. And I'm the second, so we have now 2 girls and 4 men, 4 boys, 4 boys. Right. Our parents, I was born into the Seventh-day Adventist home. My parents were, my grandparents were too. Okay. And actually, one of my great-grand uncle was among the first pioneers of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the East, Robert Abaribe. Okay. So it was like a family thing. So we flew with it, lived it, but not actually as a person, not being, sure of what you were doing, not being convinced yourself. Okay. But we were following the parents to church. We loved the youth activities, did all of this, the AYM, AYS then.
And all the camp meetings.
And all of them, but not really converted per se, okay. But we were doing it.
So, doing church, being a Seventh-day Adventist by birth, and because by inclination, everybody goes to church, I go to church. And so, do you want to share with us some of those experiences that made you say, I am born Seventh-day Adventist, but I wasn't really?
Yeah, then growing up, we go to camp meetings, okay. With our parents. We have an agenda too with our friends. All right. At the camp meeting, we may post one little guy to make sure you get all the things that have been done at the camp meeting, find out for us who preaches, who did the opening hymn, so that by the time we come back, we know that Daddy and Mommy were asking us, are you sure you were around? And they say, is it not this person that did the opening hymn? Is it not this person that did the sermon? Is it not this that they sang? Is it not this? But they too will not be very sure that you're actually telling the thing. But since they won't do anything, we played all this and we're going on with it, but right inside ourselves, because, I want to thank God for my parents. They really gave us good beginning. Okay. They wanted the best for us. They provided everything, so that we'll just be the best, both materially, spiritually, all the resources were made to us. But, growing up, we veered off, trying to do our own things, but we still had our boundaries. We still knew that this wasn't actually what we were supposed to do, but we were just peer pressure and all those things, we flowed with it, but...
All right, so you found yourself in some companies, in some places, and something tells you, shouldn't be here, but then somehow you just flowed along. And so, how much of this experience, when you look at those times when you veered off course, the times when you felt, I shouldn't be doing this, how close did you come to dangers and you felt, wow, that was close?
Got quite close to deadly encounters because we did things to the extreme, that we shouldn't be doing. But because of that training and the background, we just pray, God, please, if you save me from this, I'm not going to enter this again. But after then, we'll still go back to it. And that's why I keep thanking God. In the midst of all these things, got baptized, at about 14, 15, still not, still
not really converted.
Really converted, doing your thing, even still went into this through the secondary school and even into the university.
Okay.
Still carried on.
So, let us know. All of this, did you have this feeling of, I shouldn't be doing this, I need to be better, God, if you take me out, if you save me this time, I will not do this again, all because you knew you were going to be a pastor? So, was it the journey, so all through, did you have that dream of being a pastor? And
never came to my mind. Okay. Never, ever came to my mind about being a pastor. Did not. Actually, the flow, because one was doing sciences then, it was, he'll be a doctor, go and do medicine. Because which was actually what I was gunning for, what I sat for. Okay. But because of not being serious too, because, those things were easy. Because of the background. One was intelligent, not being boastful then. Right. But because of not being serious, I landed up below the cut mark. They gave me industrial chemistry then.
The cutoff mark for medicine?
For medicine, yes, the cutoff mark for medicine. So I ended up in industrial chemistry. They said, okay, just do well after that. After 1 year, you may change. But we continued that way, even when some of my friends, those who will go to church, who just try to make fun of them. But
even
which
then,
I now see,
even then as a Christian
in the university, which I now see as foolishness. Those things Paul said, this thing that I'm even ashamed to talk about.
Wow.
So continued then, finished, and then still. I remember an instance where one of my distant family friends saw me in where he shouldn't have seen me. And he called me Abaribe, and I did as if it wasn't me. He was talking to a wrong person.
Okay.
He said, is that not I said? I just did as if it wasn't me. Wow. So can you imagine how stupid it felt? And then as I look at them, as I look at those things now, and I still thank God for His grace. So
and God was with you all along.
He was merciful.
He never
left you. I thank God for God's grace. So it continued till you served then, and God has always favored me. God has always given me grace. So served there in Abuja. I was posted to serve in NNPC.
Okay.
After our orientation.
That was the Nigerian
National Petroleum Company. Yeah, and it was the only one in Abuja then, as of 1991. So, but me and my friends said, now that we're coming out of orientation, let's go and enjoy a little in Nikon, Nikon in
Hilton
Sheraton. Yes, then. Let's just say the first day we went out, the second day, we went out when I should have gone to.
Just having fun.
In fact, that was all recorded then, but now I see it as not fun. Oh. So we went. Then on the third day, I decided to go as if it was my father's company. So I walked there and there. And the Saturday, that those my friends were posted into secondary schools. You know what it means? This one is an NPC and secondary school. So, I was in the wrong company.
Yeah.
So the third day, I went there. And by the time I got there, the manager told me, they waited for me for 2 days. In fact, the manager told me that specifically, they told the camp commandant, just at random, pick a name for us. We just want one person we will return, we'll be sending abroad before the end of that year for training. And the manager said, that's how my name came. They told the commandant, not somebody you know, not somebody related to you. So that they've waited for me the first day, the second day, and the third day. And they said that I was not coming, and they took somebody else.
Wow, and so just like that, you lost the opportunity of getting a place of service that would have actually given you automatic employment. So how did you feel about that?
Not much. I felt bad, but never learned my lessons. Because I still felt maybe, some
other opportunities will come.
Because even then, when I was staying with one of my dad's friends, I was very comfortable. I was okay. And God granted me favors. Then I had an opportunity to, then one of my our family friends got another place for me to serve with the water resources, which was a good place too, but not as good as, better than what other folks had, but still never learned my lessons.
So you just went on, did your own thing, and all along, God kept nudging you. Or maybe that spirit kept telling you, this is not the best, you can do better, but then you just felt, this is life. I've got to enjoy life. And that's how it is most of the times when we think we have life, we have time, and we can do so much. We are speaking with Pastor Chukuemeka Abaribe, who has been sharing his experience of what it was like growing up and walking the Christian journey, but not really being a Christian. We'll be back after this time out. Don't go away. Welcome back. And it's still the Damascus encounter as we bring you the interesting story and sharing of Pastor Chukuemeka Abaribe. Today he is talking to us, he's shared his experience before we took the break about how he walks the walk but not actually the talk. And he kept feeling you're not doing the right thing, but somehow he still felt led to do his own thing, move with his peers, and typical of every young man, try to have a good time and a smart time in life. So, Pastor Abaribe, after National Youth Service, what did you venture into?
Then I came back, to be home, and then because there were no opportunity, they would say, oh, come back, don't stay in Abuja, there's no oil company there, there's oil company in Port Harcourt. So because there were some contacts that have already been made, as if the thing was just waiting for you.
Okay.
But I noticed, but was still doing the flow, like what you say, thinking that you still have more time.
Yeah.
So, and you see that there were, opportunities, but many of them squandered. And by this time, something that kept ringing in my mind, especially on Saturdays, especially when I'm out of home.
Okay.
I'll be in some places I shouldn't be. And they say, this is Sabbath day. You don't need to be there. I remember some terrible accidents I had, even in the beach with my friend one Saturday in Port Harcourt. It was terrible. That my life was spared was a miracle. We were doing carries all around the bridge, and suddenly the door flung open, and I saw myself outside. It was just the starting that the door that I hung on.
Out of the car.
Out of the car. The thing dragged me for a while. I said, it's Sabbath. You don't listen.
All this while you were supposed to be in church?
I was supposed to, but I was out of home. So this thing happened severally. And it was, Emeka, you need to learn. And those opportunities, those oil company, even the one will get to the Ajib, go to, to the top brass, even with some that will walk you down, even with the one with the control of immigration, took you to, imagine where control of immigration is taking you to the leaders of all these companies. Who will say no?
Just to get a
it's
job.
Going to work. But none of them worked. But at the point I said, no, I don't need to work. Why will I tie down myself every morning? I need to be on my own. So now went back to Lagos with one of my uncle. Then we were staying, we're doing some few businesses, but still playing church.
So can you share with us that breaking point, exactly when you came to the consciousness, okay, I'm done. God, I submit.
After all the experiences, something happened in Lagos, and that one took me back home to Aba, to the village. Then my dad was, okay, let me go and get a work for you. I'm going to take you to my friends to work. Then that landed me to Home Champions as their quality control. I read industrial chemistry then as a quality control manager. And then from there, doing it well. And then the production manager left to start his own company. Then I was moved to be the production manager. Then suddenly, I started now changing. That encounter in Lagos, had a turning point in my life. Then I started having a very great attraction to Spirit of Prophecy books. I know we have it in our homes, we read, we do all the devotion and everything, but, now I was now reading. The Spirit of Prophecy books were just what I would, when I take them, I'll feel at home. the chemical books were no longer appealing to me. I come to the office, instead of the production, I just take one prophecy book and start reading. Feasted on them. Instead of liking to be in the factory, I prefer to be in one church program, church close by. Oh, they are doing fasting and prayer today. I prefer to be there. I prefer to be, in the church activities and no more being attracted. Then I went to my chairman and said, I think maybe I need to get into marketing department and so on. I don't longer feel...
Get out of the office space.
Yes, get out of this. This is something that was taking me out. But he thought that maybe I was going to start my own company too.
Okay.
I know at a point that was coming in my mind to start, we were doing pen, to start an ink, manufacturing company. I started talking to some folks about that. But my liking for the Bible, Spirit of Prophecy books, I come to office, instead of looking at what we are going to do, some research we were doing, but I'll take up the Bible and I'll find peace. I'll take up Spirit of Prophecy books, I'll find peace. Then one day, I went to church in the village. I said, God, I'm fasting today. Tell me what you want me to do. Because I started being impressed in my mind, you're not supposed to be here. You need to get in and say, God, please tell me. If you have a use for me, tell me. But if you don't have, please let me be. So that I can now blow in the industry. Yes. Because I've now started about starting my own company. In fact, I've started even talking about those that will make the machines for me, and the financiers, I've started talking with them, and they were buying into it. I said, God, please, if you don't have any for me. And by that time, I was no longer doing very well in production.
Okay.
Because my attraction have shifted. So that day I was fasting and praying, expecting maybe God would talk from the blues and say, okay, then I was so pious, expecting God to say something. Church continued, and then I didn't want to contribute that day. I didn't want to say anything in church. I was just so quiet, expecting to hear something from God, maybe hear like Samuel, Then church ended. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, I said, God, you don't have any use for me. Let me go back and then be serious now with my work. So as I was about entering into the car to drive off, one of my aunts came. We call her Darby. She came. Emeka, wait. I said, Auntie, what's the problem? He said, wait. Emeka, you have to do something. I said, what? He said, while I was in church, because Pastor Oriako, who was the Sabbath school director then for our conference, East Nigerian conference, he visited the church. He was the one who preached. So he said, Emeka, while Pastor Oriako was preaching in the pulpit, all true, I was seeing you there. I will try to rub my eyes as if I was in a trance. Emeka, I will still see you. All through the sermon, it was you that I saw.
Someone else was preaching.
Yes.
And it was your face that she saw.
That she was seeing all through. Say, Emeka, you have to do something. And I never told anybody that I was fasting and praying and talking to God. Oh, I said, Auntie, thank you very much. Auntie, thank you very much. Then I entered the car and I got home. And then Monday morning, I wrote my resignation and then handed it over to the managing director that I'm resigning.
As quality control officer?
I was a production manager. Then I said, I'm resigning. I'm not working again. He said, why? I said, no. Okay, yes, I told him, okay, now is December 1st. So till December ending, so that it becomes 1 month, which is the policy, 1 month in notice. So I said, So I say, I'm resigning. It's okay. That nothing will stop me. Then when my auntie had it, she ran and said, Meka, no. How can you resign? That's not what I meant. I didn't tell you to resign. Please. We'll go back and talk to the chairman. No, you can't resign. I said, it's done. And by December ending, it was done. So
how about your parents? How were they? How did they take this? What was it like for them?
I thought now finally when I was there, because my dad, though he wasn't a pastor, but he was so committed. He was to the church, every church activity. Joshua Abaribe was so very, very, youth activity, even in his old age, he was. So I thought, he will not be very happy that his son is getting into the ministry. But when I came back at home, they were not happy. I was disappointed.
So
he said, Emeka, I know you. You like money. Ministry is not about money. You like good things. You like fashion. Ministry is not about fashion. Ministry is not about good things. So And
what
you
are
don't,
you going to do?
What are you going to? So you're not a candidate for here. One, it requires tolerance. It requires patience. You're not a very patient person.
Wow.
You don't tolerate people. You snap. So this is not for you. So that is why he did not. Oh, I said, that's why he didn't support me. But the Spirit told me that, don't worry, stay. After 6 months, he will give his consent. Because I was impressed that until your dad gives the consent, just stay. So for that 6 months from January till June, I was in the village.
Doing nothing?
Doing nothing, only I will go to church, go to midweek. They say there's fasting and praying, I'll be there. Then on my own, I will collect the church keys. I'll go there and be praying. And within that period, I read so much of Spirit of Prophecy books. And I read the Bible through and through. I will read. That's all I was doing. In fact, I didn't even go to the town more than twice for that 6 months. And then by June, my dad said, now I'm convinced that you're ready to get into the ministry.
And he gave his blessing.
And he gave his blessing.
And
then I waited, because I was just waiting, God, now it's all about you. Then by July, the conference president, then Pastor Onwugo, who heard about it, invited me and said that he heard that I want to enter. And I said, yes. He said, but there's an opening they have. It's for an evangelist, right back into one bush. Okay. And what they're going to pay is 2,000. Imagine where I'm coming from.
2,000 naira.
2,000 naira. And you'll be coming from that place to about to collect 2,000. I looked at myself. I said, oh, thank you. That's a birthday gift. But, and the man said, I was wearing a shoe then in my leg that was worth over 3,000.
And you'll be collecting?
And I'll be collecting
2,000.
2,000. I said, but God, thank you. He was surprised because he thought I wouldn't have, taken it. I said, oh, wonderful. That's a birthday gift. Because my birthday is in July 14th. And this was coming just a few days before my birthday. I said, oh, wonderful. I said, when are we starting? And by August, I went there to a place called Awo Mama. I was there. It was bicycle we were using to go from house to house. And then at the end of the month, I come back to Aba and collect the 2,000. And then, he said, so that you can go to and unlearn all you have learned in Egypt. That was his word. When he saw that I accepted, he said, this will be an experience for you to go and unlearn. And truly, it was a great unlearning for me.
Okay.
That place really shaped me.
And all of these experiences eventually brought you to the seminary?
Yes. Okay. In fact, before I talk about that, there was something I missed. You talked about, did I ever think about getting close to being a pastor? No. While I was working in Home Charm, I went for a funeral. And after that funeral, everyone was entering into his car and driving out. Then the district pastor who conducted the funeral preached very good sermon. Then when he was about to leave, he wanted to start his machine. He had a motorbike.
Okay.
And he will press it.
Struggling with it.
The thing will not start. Everyone was leaving. Oh, pastor, that was a good sermon. Oh, pastor, and he was struggling with this motorbike. I said to myself, I was impressed. Lord, every year I'm going to give a pastor a car. Every year I'll give a pastor. So that was the only thing that came to my mind, even while I was in the Lord, I'm going to give a pastor a car every year. But this year, since I've not made enough money now, I will give some sizable amount to the district pastor. Then from next year, I'll start with this project. But that next year was the January 1998 that I turned in my resignation.
Wow. So, quite interesting. Interesting.
So I said, oh no, I can't do this anymore. And now finally I'm here.
Okay, so if you, just to wrap up, if you were to look back and choose, all that you've been through, are you glad you came to ministry, or do you sometimes wish you didn't have to be here?
Oh, not at all. Like you said, because from that time, God said, after a few months, you're coming to Babcock. And then, as well, then I came here. Okay. And since then, it's only that I've not really been faithful as I should. I've not really, because God showed me grace. I came through several near-death experiences. The only thing I wish I had honored my parents early and followed God and given my life to Christ quite early.
Okay. You wish you had a
much
earlier experience with God and have to serve Him more.
I wish I had, even now, though I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But I wish I could just, yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
Just take off and do God's business.
Yes, sir. Is that what you want? You know that I will be faithful to Him. I have no regrets. My only regret is that I've not been faithful to God. I've not trusted Him as I should.
Okay. Thank you very much.
The privilege is mine.
Well, that will be all on today's edition of the program, The Encounter. We've had Pastor Chukuemeka Abaribe in the house. He's shared with us. And typical of every Christian experience, especially when we come to know God, the Damascus encounter that we have with Jesus, you're traveling in a particular direction and all of a sudden Jesus steps in and it turns you in another direction, which ultimately brings us to the point where we always wish that we had known Him much earlier and much better. I do hope that today's story has touched a part of your life and somehow you would also have your experience that you'll be sharing someday with someone. And until next time, when we meet on the program, it's God bless until we meet again.